The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Well, we're excited to be going to Wingate. It's our first South Atlantic Conference game. We know Wingate is a tough opponent. They've been a great opponent against Carson-Newman. We know that it's their first home game, their first night game, I guess, in the history of the stadium there, so they're going to be excited and pumped up. And we have to go out and play sound football. We got to go out and meet and match that excitement up.
How do you mentioned the first night game, how do you put emphasis on that to prepare for that, or do you put emphasis on that?
Oh, no, not at all. Gosh, it's a 6 o'clock game. It'll be 8 o'clock before it's dark. So, and we've already played a night game here, so our kids are used to that, and I don't think that would be an issue at all, it being a night game. I think the number one thing is that we're sound in what we're doing. We talked as a staff this morning, sound defensively, sound offensively, sound in the kicking game, because you always want to give your kids the best chance to execute, and making sure that it's a simple plan both sides of the ball so they can go out and turn loose.
Offensively started slow against St. Aug. How do you avoid that this week?
Well, I hope we've done some better preparation. I thought we were prepared for that. I think our young men have to realize, and they did at that point, you look at a team that the week before had gotten beat 49-0, that doesn't mean anything on the next Saturday, okay? The next Saturday is just the next game. And if we're good enough to be a good football team, if we come out and play wide open, excited, fired up to play the way we did in the first game. Now, we got fired up and excited in the second half and looked like a pretty good football team. So we're just good enough to do it that way, but we're also dangerous enough if we don't, we're not going to meet goals and things we want to get done.
And Dorian Miller leads all players in all divisions for yards per catch. Why has he been able to eat up monster chunk yardage plays?
I think sometimes Dorian may trick them. They may not think he's as fast as he is, but he is. He's got great speed. But again, I go back to how hard he's worked to develop himself. He's a guy that's earned the right to win. He's a guy that's earned the right to be successful at his position. And after looking at those stats, I got to figure out I'm not smart enough to get him the ball more often. So we've got to do a better job of getting the ball in his hands.
Wingate rotates tailbacks. Blake Hayes, Lawrence Pittman have both put up some pretty heady numbers through 2 weeks for the Bulldogs. How are they similar? How are they different in the Bulldogs' backfield?
Well, I think they're very similar in that they want to get you in a situation, with their 3 tight end set, 2 tight end set, and run the ball downhill on you, okay, and try to get mismatches that way. But football is football. If you're going to win a football game, you got to stop the run first. It doesn't matter if it's a spread team, it's a 2 tight end team, if it's a veer offense team. If a defense is going to win, they've got to win stopping the run first and then make them go to the next level.
Can you think of many times in your coaching career where the opponent has had 2 running backs that potentially have had some more accolades than a couple guys that you've had in your backfield?
Well, that's happened before in different teams and different seasons that we've had and played people that have done that. Yes, absolutely. Those 2 guys are very, very talented and very, very dangerous, and they're doing a good job of getting the ball in their hands. If you've got people that kind of talent, get the ball in their hand and let them make plays. In this game, we've gone back over with our football team again. Regardless of your position, the idea in this game is to make plays. Okay, whether you're a lineman or a back or a DB or a linebacker, the object's to make plays. That's how you win football games.
Things really ratchet up here over the next 3 weeks. I know you're focused on this week, but how do you make sure that some of these young kids understand how to be prepared going on the road this week?
I just put on the first half of last week's game. That's a very humbling experience, all right, when you keep going backwards. I would hope that we were and at some point almost embarrassed in some of the things that we did. We allowed some things to happen that shouldn't have happened to us with the pre-snap penalties, and that's a killer. That's a drive killer. Again, let me say this again, how grateful I am to the way the defense responded. They never backed down, and they shut them down in those early parts of the first quarter and through the second quarter to where we kept it, that we could keep the lead going in at halftime. and just so thankful for those kids and their heart and their effort. They weren't going to be denied of going out there, play, and have a good time.
There wasn't a lot of continuity with the offensive line last year. How do you think they're gelling so far this year?
Well, I thought we were doing pretty good to that first quarter, and I'm just kidding there. I think we showed there in the second half that they are gelling, and you're still looking at 3 and 4, a freshman and 2 or 3 sophomores in there playing, but they don't have a choice. They've got to gel for the success of this program, the success of this offense. Those are the guys that have to excel. We're getting another 1 or 2 healthy to get in there and get them some more reps. A guy like Hayden Hester is getting more healthy. So I think we'll come along. And it goes back to keeping it simple, and that's what we want to do. And it wasn't a non-simple game plan Saturday, trust me. We just can't make those pre-snap mistakes. You take those out of the game, and you got a different start. So that's what offensive football is. Don't penalize yourself. All right, don't let those happen. You can have aggressive penalties, and you live with that because you got kids playing aggressive. But before the ball is snapped, you can't live with that.
I'd expect the winner of Saturday's game to potentially be the team that controls the ground game the most. What do you think is the biggest key for this weekend?
Well, I think for both sides of it is who can move the line of scrimmage. All right, that's what they're trying to do. Our defense is trying to deny that, push the line of scrimmage back in that kind of offense. It'll be the same way with Wingate against us. We just got through watching again this morning as a staff last year's video and how they the difference of a year ago versus a year ago. It's about offensive line play, it's about defensive line play, and there's not many football games that usually don't get down to that. That may not be the flamboyant thing to say, but that is the truth.
Saheem Stupart is staring down the barrel of 250 career tackles and starting to make his way into the top 15 all time. I know it's early in his senior season, but how do you sum up his career so far, especially coming off of a week where he has 10 tackles and 3
Right.
for loss?
Well, he's a great young man, got a great mom, and she's just a pleasure to have every time we get her here for a ball game. But he's come from a great background, but he's a kid that won't be denied. He's a kid that's grown as a man in the last 2 or 3 years tremendously. And obviously, the more you grow up as a man, the more you grow up as a believer, the better football player you're going to be. And he's flourished into that.
Wingate breaks in a new quarterback this year. And, James Whitaker, after felt like Kyle Johnson was there for
Right.
forever and a day. What's he bring to the table?
Well, I think that he's a talented young man. He'll make plays. I think you also see that they're breaking in a new quarterback and they're featuring 2 running backs. That helps take care of a quarterback coming into a new system. So all the pieces fit together there.
Coach, your team definitely responded in that second half over the weekend after that rough first half with some of those penalties. What was the mood like going into the locker room?
I think the mood coming out of the locker room was great. Okay, I think that was great. You go into the locker room and you've got some guys that they know that they messed up. When you've got procedure penalties and those kind of things, you can take that and you can beat a kid down or you can raise a kid up. And I hope at Carson-Newman we're all in the business of raising a kid up and giving him a chance to redeem himself. And our kids responded in the right way. Again, we took care of the football. We let it hit the ground a couple times, but we did recover it. We're still working with some growing pains inside right there, that type of thing. So we've got to work those out, and you just look forward to the day where those kids can line up and say, hey, I got this thing figured out. I promise you, what we're doing is very, very simple. It's just a matter of executing.
Last year, at the same point, Carson-Newman was turnover free through 2 weeks.
Right.
Catawba and gave it away 5 times.
Right.
How do you make that a continued point of emphasis in the week leading up to this game?
Well, it's always think fast and play fast and take care of the football. If we don't take care of the football Saturday in the first quarter, that could have been horrendous. At least we're able to take care of the ball and punt the thing back and play great defense. But it's always a matter of turnovers. When you've got 2 good football teams going against each other, who's going to be able to take it away, who's going to be able to secure it, and then who's going to make plays. All right, who's going to make plays?
You kind of touch on the defense there. It feels like this is as hard a hitting defense in my 6 years here. How much has that helped set the tone that Jarvis Green, for instance, goes down and lays a lick on somebody on the first punt of the game for you guys?
Well, I think you've, I think that's built up through spring practice. I think it's built up through fall camp, and that's on both sides, offense and defense, and covering kicks. That's why we call them special teams, because they got to be special players. But obviously, you look for players playing with excitement. Excitement is catching. Okay, that's enthusiasm. It's catching. This guy goes and makes a great play. Hey, I better get involved in that. And I like the way our guys are celebrating together and enjoying that and enjoy playing football. We talked earlier about the main thing in this thing is play hard, get after it, but have a good time while you're doing it.
Wingate pretty much has to replace their entire front four from a year ago, including the Defensive Player of the Year, Ray Edwards. What do you see out of that lineup? They're still putting up pretty good defensive numbers.
Oh, absolutely. Wingate is a very well coached team. Joe and his staff do a great job. They've always been very well prepared and well coached, and they've always got a transfer or two that's come in and helped fill up some positions for them like it has in the last couple of years. So I see them being a very, very sound football team. It's a football team's not going to beat themselves. All right, they're going to have the right numbers to account for people. So it's a football team. I hope the same way as Carson-Newman that we're not going to beat ourselves. We're going to make somebody beat us up front.
You spoke a bit about moving that line of scrimmage and trying to get down the field some. And with last week's game, multiple players were getting touches from the rushing game. So how do you take that into an away game? You want to get guys used to getting touches at home, but how do you get the team comfortable with getting touches on the road so they can feel like they're just right back here?
Sure. I think you keep improving every week. I think you keep improving. I think I don't know that we'll ever get there. All right, you're never going to get there, but you shoot and attain for things that keep you going this way. To me, the most dangerous football team is a football team that thinks I got it made and this was it. And I think part of that Saturday deal was, hey, I think that's made, and we gave St. Aug a whole lot of hope there in the first quarter, and that's what made it a football game. And then when we decided to go do our job and everybody execute the way they're supposed to execute, it was a different outcome. But we're growing as a football team. There's no question about that. We handle adversity well. That's our first time of really adversity as a team, and how did you handle it? I told all the coaches Monday morning that the greatest thing I saw was nobody complaining about anything, nobody down on anybody. Everybody was encouraging each other. Hey, let's go get this thing done. Let's get it done the right way. That's a positive sign. In life, you're going to have adversity. How are you going to handle it? Okay? You going to run and hide, or are you going to jump up and go, hey, I'll go meet that sucker head on?